Welcome back, focus learners, to another explainer. Today, we're exploring a concept that totally bridges the gap between the deeply scientific and the profoundly mysterious. We're looking at a premise that has literally captivated human imagination for centuries: visions of tomorrow. What if the theater of your sleeping mind was actually a live broadcast of the future? What if the scenarios playing out in your head while you sleep aren't just random firings of neurons, but actual, tangible predictions of what's to come? We're going to break down the science, the theories, and the massive societal shifts that would occur if this phenomenon were actually proven real. So get comfortable and let's explore this incredible what-if scenario.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to truly imagine, just for a moment, waking up and knowing exactly what's going to happen today. And I don't mean just a vague feeling or a strong intuition. I mean experiencing future events before they even happen, in vivid, high-definition detail, right inside your own mind. It completely upends our entire understanding of time and reality. You go to sleep in the present, but your consciousness somehow fast forwards. The normal linear progression of hours and minutes is suddenly bypassed entirely. What if tomorrow was already locked inside your head, just waiting for you to close your eyes to hit play? There's an immediate emotional whiplash to this premise. It's equally frightening and amazing, making it a total double-edged sword. On one hand, imagine the absolute thrill of glimpsing a massive future success. You could see yourself acing an interview, meeting someone special, or totally avoiding a major mistake because you already saw the outcome before even stepping out your front door. That's the amazing part. It'd be like having a cheat code for reality. But flip that coin and you have pure terror. Imagine the crippling weight of seeing a tragedy, a sudden loss, or a widespread disaster, and having to carry that knowledge with you when you wake up, constantly wondering if your actions can even change it. It's an emotional tightrope that would completely redefine the human experience.
Section 1. The Science of Dreams. Inside Brain Activity.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how simple the baseline biological reality actually is. We currently define dreams merely as a series of thoughts, images, and sensations. It's essentially a localized byproduct of a resting body and an active mind, not some external receiver of future timelines. Science views these nighttime narratives purely as internal mechanisms. When you're asleep, your neural pathways are basically just doing housekeeping. They're sorting through the clutter of your waking hours, consolidating your memories, and flushing out metabolic waste. It sounds almost mundane when you frame it as pure biology, right? But this definition is our anchor, rooting us in what we can actually observe and measure in a laboratory.
Let's break this down a little further. Even when your body is totally paralyzed in REM sleep, your brain is firing on all cylinders. It's actively processing memories and regulating emotional responses. During this highly active phase, your imagination steps in to generate these wild, sometimes completely nonsensical scenarios out of the fragments of your own experiences. And crucially, dreaming isn't just a fun nightly cinema, it's a vital biological necessity for humans. It keeps our cognitive function sharp, helps us process trauma, and absolutely aids in learning. So we have this beautifully messy, vital, natural state of our sleeping minds, driven entirely by localized chemistry and electricity. The big question is, how could something so chaotic and internal ever be responsible for precise, accurate future telling?
Section 2. Coincidence versus true prediction. The unexplained gray area. This perfectly illustrates the core debate we're looking at. On one side of the argument, we have mathematical coincidence. Think about it. With billions of humans having multiple dreams every single night for thousands of years, pure probability dictates that eventually someone is going to dream about something right before it actually happens. It's just a numbers game, a statistical inevitability. But flip the argument, and we have true prediction. This side argues that some dreams simply defy mathematical odds, containing hyper-specific, totally unpredictable details that could not possibly be guessed by chance. So, how do we separate a lucky guess born from an anxious mind from a genuine, unexplainable vision of the future? History is packed with famous stories questioning this exact boundary. And these aren't just spooky campfire tales, they are well-documented anecdotes that force us to constantly reevaluate the line between random chance and deep premonition. Take the historical accounts of leaders like Abraham Lincoln, who allegedly dreamt of his own assassination, complete with a coffin in the East Room of the White House, just days before it actually happened. Or consider the numerous recorded accounts of everyday people who canceled travel plans after vivid nightmares, only to see those exact trains or ships meet with disaster. These famous stories anchor the mystery of precognitive dreams deep in our culture, heavily challenging that strict biological view of the sleeping brain.
Section 3. Immediate changes in human life. Taking dreams seriously.
If society suddenly accepted that dreams were real previews of tomorrow, your morning routine would change in an instant. We're right back to that pendulum of fear versus excitement. Waking up would no longer just be about making coffee and scrolling the news. It would be about decoding the day ahead from the raw data of your own sleep. The fear of a bad premonition could cause crippling anxiety, literally paralyzing people from leaving their homes or even speaking to their loved ones. Conversely, the excitement of a positive vision could lead to incredible risk-taking and totally unbound confidence. Your entire mood, your psychological state, and your readiness for the world would be dictated entirely by the moment you opened your eyes.
So the crucial point is how this alters our actual tangible behavior. Imagine the new flow of your average day. You experience a vivid dream. You wake up and immediately analyze the event you just saw, perhaps even writing it down in a dedicated journal before the memory fades away. And then the critical pivot. You change your daily decisions based on that vision. You cancel a flight. You take a totally different route to work just to avoid an intersection you saw in your sleep. You invest in a specific stock. The average person would essentially be using their own sleep data as a daily navigation system, constantly trying to outsmart or fulfill their own destiny in real time.
Section 4. Effects on society. A massive global shift. Let's zoom out and see how this builds into the macro impact. Because when billions of individuals change their behavior, institutions are forced to react. Think about how a fundamentally changed world would operate. Governments would likely establish vast federal agencies dedicated solely to monitoring and analyzing collective dream data to prevent national crises before they unfold. Scientists would see billions of dollars funneled away from traditional physics or genetics and poured directly into the neuroscience of precognition, desperate to figure out the exact mechanics of how the human brain actually tunes into future timelines. And industries? We would see an explosion of entirely new tech, devices designed to seamlessly record and play back dreams, advanced software to decode symbolic sleep imagery, and even complex security systems based entirely on pre-crime visions. The entire global economy and infrastructure would pivot to center around this wild new reality.
It is an absolutely fascinating, world-altering concept to explore. We've looked at the science, the theories, and the massive global implications. But bringing it all the way back down to you, the individual. What would you do if you woke up tomorrow with a clear, undeniable vision of your future? Would you try to change it, or would you just let it play out? Take that thought with you, and I'll see you in the next explainer.